All right, Gamer, what are we talking about?
So, with a partner direct tomorrow, do we think we're getting a big direct in September with a lot of those big first party announcements that obviously won't be here tomorrow? Or do we think Nintendo's going to kind of drip feed reveals through the Nintendo Today app as they've done a little bit throughout the year so far? Basically, to sum it up, how do we think Nintendo's going to handle their first party announcements for the remainder of the year? Let's start with Sky Swords Alyssa. Thoughts on this one?
So I feel like they could drip feed like a little bit, but I don't think they would just focus on Mario for September. I know that, it's the 40th anniversary, but there's so much more to like talk about because Switch 2 just came out, but they've been really weird lately. So for me, it's kind of like hard to say, honestly.
Totally. And do you expect anything from like the Nintendo Today app, or do you think they're going to keep it more fun? It sounds like you're leaning towards more of a September direct for first party, but do you think they might drip feed some more Nintendo?
I think they'll still, I still think they'll put some.
I think.
Oh no! I think we lost her.
We got a frozen Alyssa.
That or it's a frozen me.
Or she's just really deep in thought.
Yeah,
it's very well
No.
deep in thought. No! Curse you, internet gods. Or she accidentally closed her browser. That's happened.
Well, while we wait for Alyssa, let's take it over to Landon, man, at Nintendo Land. What are your thoughts on this one, bud?
It's confusing. They're just very different now. I've been saying it feels like they're holding their cards really close to their chest with the Switch 2 and like not giving us announcements until it's like really close. It's like also like that Mario. It's just that Mario 40th anniversary that's stuck in my head right now. Because where does that, how does that play? Because I feel like they kind of have to still have some type of big blowout. Talk about the games that they've already announced. Get a little bit started for next year. When does that leave like that Mario anniversary? Because surely they're doing something. Like, do they just decide to have that information in the big direct? I mean, like, Nate said, all I need is give me 3D Mario. I don't care what else is in the anniversary. So they could do that in the direct, general direct, have a little segment dedicated to that in the show with the 3D Mario. So, I mean, they could also drip feed it though, because I'm looking at this list and like some people even brought it to my attention, they could show Hyrule Warriors in this third party showcase. They can show even Kirby in this showcase if they wanted to. With Bandai Namco. So, I mean, they could get some of this out, maybe have a Metroid Prime 4 direct sometime in August. And then, I mean, that's pretty much the rest of the year outside of maybe if Splatoon Raiders is coming or not. But I don't know. It's weird.
Oh, yeah. We'll continue with you in a minute, Landon, but I want to give Alyssa a chance to finish her thoughts.
My PC just crashed. I got like the sad face on my screen. It was all blue. I was like, sorry about that.
No worries. You were touching on the Nintendo Today app. If you think they're gonna drip through that,
like I think we might get like a couple like smaller announcements, maybe some NSO type drops in the app. But like I really don't want to see them put Metroid Prime 4's release date in the app. I really don't want them to do that. I really want them to like show it off again. Like maybe not necessarily be in a September direct, but have its own thing. So maybe like something like that. I don't
like
want
the DK treatment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
totally. Awesome. Landon, let's hop back over to you because I know you were still sharing your thoughts on this one.
That was about it. I mean,
that was it.
Just like she said, like I mean, I do not want to see the Nintendo app taking over for like the marketing up to Metroid Prime. I feel like that game deserves a lot more of a light and a general Nintendo Direct. It needs more eyes on it. I mean, sure, Metroid fans are going to love that game, but still, you got to market that game to people that may not be Metroid Prime fans right now. So yeah, it needs more love than just a partner or just a Nintendo NSO app, but. Yeah,
absolutely. Prime, what are we thinking?
Look, I absolutely think there's going to be a Prime, like a Prime 4 Direct, a dedicated one. I think it's just a game that deserves it. It's been in development technically since 2017. So it's one of the more complex games that Nintendo releases. So I feel like it's one, they do it for Xenoblade. They do it for Zelda. You do it for Metroid. It kind of needs that extra explanation. How they do it for Mario sometimes, and we don't really even need it for Mario. So I really think that that's probably going to happen, and that might even be the next direct we get. It kind of depends on when it's going to come out, and that's really the question everyone has is, okay, we have this big third-party direct, which is great because we do need a lot of third-party announcements for Switch 2. We expected a lot already by now, and we haven't gotten any since April 2nd, really. Just a couple little ones that floated out there. So, this kind of answers the question on why we haven't been getting those third-party announcements. And tomorrow we're going to find out that they probably were holding everything back for this direct. We were even hearing some third parties kind of throw out there that Nintendo was saying, no, you can't announce things until the direct. So kind of weird that Nintendo has that power, but it is their system and they have to approve of your game releasing on it. So they do have that power if they want it. And also saving all the big announcements for this obviously makes the partner direct bigger. Like any games that you guys thought might have been confirmed for Switch 2 over these summer things are probably going to be in this one. So then when we look ahead to the September one and what Nintendo's doing, the reason people are confused is, yeah, we have like 4 or 5 Nintendo games announced with no release dates. And that's very weird. That the only game besides Legend ZA that we have a release date for is Dragon Drive. Yeah, I know we could talk about, the Kirby stuff, but look, it's Dragon Drive. That's what we have a release date for. That's actually a new game. And that's just, that feels weird. That's a $20 game. Are we really in August just going to have a $20 DLC and a $20 game? We're not going to have any major release in the third month. And then we go into September not even knowing about a major game coming that month. That's what feels so weird. Is right now, the next major game is a Switch 1 game in October. Now we know Kirby Air Riders is coming. We know Age of Imprisonment, which, to be fair, we might get a release date for that potentially tomorrow. We know obviously about what were some of the other ones? God, I'm spacing out right now. Kirby Air Riders, I think I brought that one up. What am I forgetting? My God,
Splatoon Raiders.
Splatoon Raiders as well, and that one sounds like through that Malaysia leak that it is coming this year. Kind of thought it was, but I kind of figured tease the way they did, then drop in a direct, and that they still might do that. Like September. The fact that we don't have any of these release dates, I think September's game is going to probably have its release date put out through social media. I think it's going to be a Twitter / Nintendo Today app drop. I don't know what game it's going to be. What game, like Dragon Drive. Okay, that kind of made sense. It's just a $20 game. But the rest of these games that we know on their slate are not $20 games. So it's like, what game are they really just going to only do a social media drop like that and not try to make a bigger deal out of it? And that, I've been kind of leaning that it might be Prime 4 because they could do a Prime 4 Direct next month and then have the release date be in there for September. And then they did make a big deal out of it. They gave it its own Direct. But I have no idea on that front. What I suspect, though, is September is going to be pretty big. One, I don't think they're going to skip doing an event in September, even though we're getting one thing is we're getting a third-party direct now. We're not getting a first-party one, which means the next first-party thing is September, which is their traditional direct time. And it's obviously Mario's 40th anniversary. So I don't think there's any way we get through September without a major Nintendo event. But this does now make me think, because for a while I thought they might do the massive direct now and then just Mario in September. Now it's like, okay, no, they're probably just going to do a massive general direct in September that happens to have some Mario 40th stuff in it. And that's cool. I mean, and maybe the Mario 40th stuff, maybe they don't have a lot to discuss. Maybe it's just like a couple things. Like maybe it's Galaxy 2 remaster for Switch 1 to get the Switch 1 audience some stuff. It's 3D Mario. And then maybe one other thing. And that's still a lot, by the way, because the 35th anniversary of Zelda, we just got a Game & Watch. So that's still technically a lot of stuff. Well, maybe they don't feel like 3 announcements is like a whole direct for them. Because remember last time we did the Mario one, that was during the COVID years. So, they kind of had to fill the slate in there with whatever they had. So I do think that that's probably the plan at this point. And to be fair, that's what probably was the plan this whole time. We just didn't know. Nintendo's the one with their own roadmap. So I think September is going to end up being a stupidly massive direct for a lot of people. We're going to get release dates for the rest of the year, probably through January. Hell, we might get a release date for Dust Bloods at that time because that's a 2026 game. And they're going to show. And the thing about September is they always tease games for the following year. So we're going to get teases for 2026 as well. And that actually makes the September Direct even bigger. September Direct's always pretty big because you get a 2026 tease. I think we could get multiple 2026 teases, including 3D Mario, and obviously a bunch of their entire holiday slate all lined up. So the September Direct's going to be massive. And our bingo boards are going to look very, very different come that Direct than they do today. But I'm not as upset as I am that I want to know this stuff now, and I'd like a nice beefy 45-minute Direct. Nintendo put an extra 20 minutes on and at least give me release dates. Maybe it's one of those things where Nintendo doesn't want to announce any new game right now. And so they thought if they did a general right now, it would just be release dates. Obviously new trailers, but it'd be release dates for their current games they have announced, and that people would be disappointed that they're not going to announce something brand new right now. Because it would just be rehashing games we already know about. So if you're going to do that, let's wait until we plan to announce things, and that might be in September. So it could make sense. Also, again, think about all these showcases that went by that had nothing for Switch 2. Why? Partner showcase. So I'm starting to see the vision. And I think once we get to the end of September, everything's going to make sense. Now, the question is, what the hell happens next year? Do we go back to the traditional way, or is Nintendo going to keep fucking around?
I guess we'll find out.
It's been wild since August of last year when we had 3 Directs in a week, but one was for the museum, and then there was a Indie World back to back with a partner showcase thing, and then some. Okay, cool. We had the kind of a standard Direct earlier in the year, and then all of a sudden, boom, we get a Direct and a Switch 2 Direct a week apart, and now a partner showcase in July. Nothing happened in June. So everything's all over the place right now. The question is, once we get past all this, is it going back to standard next year? Is Nintendo just going to keep rocking our world? We get to January, and now there's a new massive Direct for something. Yeah, who the hell knows? Maybe we start getting a Direct every other month. I shouldn't give Nintendo ideas.
Damn.
Anyways, all right, that's where I'm sitting on all this right now.
Thunder, bring the stash. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I still think we're going to get some more Directs this year.
Sure.
Obviously, it's the launch year, and the console launched halfway through the year, right? So we got 6 months to see how many Directs you can get in the remainder of the year, right? And so we had the Switch 2 Direct in April. We had the Mario Kart Direct, and we're gonna have this Direct. I expect, obviously, the Mario Direct in September. I really do think we're gonna get a Metroid Spotlight, similar to what we had with Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have to. And I also think there's going to be more to it. I fully expect, again, I'll say this a million times, Prime 1, 2, and 3, mouse Joy-Con controls, Switch 2 upgrade for Prime Remastered, and then Prime 2 and 3. Just like they did with Pikmin. I'm sure the same's coming for Pikmin too. Just makes too much sense. It's easy money. So I think we get the Mario one. We get a Metroid one. I think my question is there going to be a third one? Because it is, the first 6 months. These are crucial. This is your first holiday season we're going into. You got to build that hype. And so I was thinking about it earlier today, and it's well, today or tomorrow is going to be the 31st. So essentially August 1st, essentially, right? In Japan, it'll be in August 1st. And it's Mario in September, yes. Metroid. We could almost have, I feel 3 in the next 60 days. Because you got to have it before people start hunkering down for holidays.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have a Direct really in November. You got to get it out the door in October. So that would give us from essentially August 1st to October, the end of October. So roughly 90 days to get 3 directs out, including the one we're going to have tomorrow. So 2 more. That, Metroid, Mario, but 1 more. What do you guys think? Do you think there's a possibility? The things I'm looking at is like, okay, tomorrow, potentially, right? There's some really big indie games coming to Switch too. A few could be on my bingo card. I won't say it. But they're big enough that they deserve to like be in this direct, the partner direct.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they're coming. We know they're coming. So that's what I got to ask is that question. Like, if they're not in this direct, they need something. They need some sort of outlet, some sort of promotion. Because there's enough indie games that we already know about that I think deserve people's attention. That could make a really good indie direct. And that would be like the first indie spotlight. So you got to look at that too. It's like we have that possibility depending on what happens tomorrow. So if we don't get any indie games shown, and you guys probably know some of the ones I'm talking about, if not all of them, if those aren't shown, I think we might get something with all of them in there. Because it would be a great way to kick off indies on Switch too.
I feel like
same time, if we don't, it could be in a general direct.
Yeah, I feel like they'll do that in December. Because if the reports are true that like, indies don't, like most of them don't have dev kits yet, I think they'll have them before December. And then there'll be like a December indie world.
I think some of these games are going to be out though already. Like, yeah, I'm talking about games that are coming out.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Because it was an indie developer who shined some light on this that they couldn't get a dev kit yet, and Nintendo told them that. I don't remember which indie developer was.
I remember this story.
They told them that because the game is also on Switch 1, that they can't get a dev kit right now. So like they're focusing only on indies that are making games exclusively for the Switch 2 platform. So that's not very many right now. Because why would you not want your game on Switch 1 with a bigger audience?
Yeah, no, that's totally valid. But I think you could have from the games that we know that are coming that are indie games.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking like around 5 or 6 games that could literally crush a indie spotlight.
I know. I know the ability that gives us on the board.
Yeah.
So it's just such an interesting situation we're in with the timing. You know what I mean? Ultimately, I think Nintendo's already got this planned out. They already know what the timeline looks like. We're left speculating, right? But there's going to be plenty of games to play. That's what matters.
Hell yeah. Let's take it over to Mr. Sock Puppet himself, the Spice Lord, Eric Moore. What are your thoughts on this one, brother?
You know, I can see. I agree with Alyssa that I think with the Nintendo Today app, I think they're going to release like some NSO. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Is that's what they use that to, announce NSO stuff, which kind of kills one of my bingo card things. But I'm good with it as long as it comes. But as for like the direct and stuff like that, I was kind of thinking along the same lines of Stash there that we're probably going to have 3 in the next 3 months. And actually, the more he was talking, I'm like, we have 4 in the next 3 months, where you have an indie showcase on the 13th, you have a general direct on the 14th, general direct on the 28th, a Mario direct sometime in September, and then a Prime 4 direct sometime in October with the release date of November. And it's like, this is insane. The possibilities that could come up with this stuff, not being normal for this year. That's what it feels like, I guess. So yeah, I mean, there is almost infinite possibilities. It feels like that we can, Nintendo can go in, because it feels like we're almost pulling rabbits out of hats just to, we're gonna keep people guessing. So here we go. So that's kind of what I'm feeling right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think you guys all make really great points. I spent a lot of time thinking about this one because, like a bunch of you have said already, it's just like the timing of everything is so interesting. And I agree with all of you to some degree. I agree with Prime. I think that the September Direct is going to be a big blowout Direct. I don't think it's just going to be a Mario 40th anniversary. What I think we'll do is we'll get the bulk of the showcase being a major, just normal Direct. And then the tail end of it is going to be like, hey, guess what? It's Mario's 40th anniversary. And then it's going to close out with a bunch of Mario announcements. Maybe we get Mario 40 on NSO. They bring back that Mario 35 concept. Maybe we get Mario Maker 3 announced with mouse controls. Would be really cool. Maybe it's not Mario Maker 3. Maybe it's an upgraded version of Mario Maker 2 from the Switch with the mouse controls incorporated and some extra DLC, maybe some of the wonder mechanics added in there, which would be really cool. And then maybe a grand finale tease of the next 3D Mario game, which I think is a lot closer than a lot of people might think. But I do feel like I think Stash hit on some really good points. I do feel like that there is room for multiple directs over the next few months. What's interesting about this one is that you guys mentioned like Prime 4 having its own direct, and I definitely think that that's a game that would greatly benefit. We've only seen a small slice of this game. People have only gotten to play a small slice of this game. We don't really know like how similar it is to previous games and how much new innovation is brought to it. We know there's going to be some psychic powers, but is this going to feel like just another Prime 1, 2, and 3? Or is it doing things that we just haven't seen yet because we've only seen that early mission that really innovates and reinvents itself in some ways? And what's confusing about that, though, is that I see a Prime 4 Focus Direct being a possibility. But I also feel like, does Kirby Air Riders need a Kirby Air Riders only Direct? We have Mario Kart World. That's the biggest racing game that launched this year on the Nintendo console, period. Kirby Air Riders isn't as big as Mario Kart. We also have a Sonic racing game coming out that looks fantastic. Do we need extra time on this game to tell people who might already have Mario Kart World, to tell people who are interested in the Sonic racing game? Here's why you need Kirby that they can't do in like a minute and a half trailer in a Nintendo Direct that flies by. Or does Kirby get delayed? We haven't mentioned the possibility of a game being delayed. Totally possible. But the other one is Splatoon Raiders. This is a spinoff. Splatoon has gotten that franchise has gotten many solo focused directs explaining like the new maps, the new weapons, some of the new modes. Do we get a Splatoon Raiders? This is a spinoff on a breakthrough series for Nintendo. We got to explain what's different. Why, if you're a fan of this one, you should definitely check out this one. So it's interesting. I can see a scenario where they do some Nintendo Today stuff with Metroid Prime 4, but they save the bulk of it for a focused direct. And that is like, how with Donkey Kong, they'd show off like 3D renders, like some of his different moves. Maybe they could show off like each day a new psychic ability. It's like a 15-second, 20-second clip just showing off an ability, like some sort of a puzzle mechanic. But we also get that meaty direct. It's interesting. I feel like there's so much to see. I feel like Nintendo's holding a lot close to their chest. And Prime, you mentioned the possibility of 2026 stuff. I mean, I'm sure we're going to see a handful of 2026 stuff. We always do. Even at the Switch 2 trailer, we got end of the year announcements. We got Dust Bloods. That's 2026. Nintendo's famous for being like, hey, we're focusing on just this holiday season, or we're focusing just on games from the first half, and there's always one or two announcements that bleed into the following year. So it's hard to tell. I say this all the time on the podcast. Nintendo's the king of curveballs. There is no like strict formula. They have no strict way of doing something. They'll do something solid for 2 years and then they'll just completely throw it out the window and hit you with something else. So I definitely think we're going to see a hybrid approach. We're going to get a little bit of everything. Indie Direct makes sense. Game focused directs makes sense. Big blowout September Direct with a ending emphasis on Mario's 40th makes sense. And you know, I think the Nintendo Today is a great way to just give little. I hope they don't continue to do big reveals on it, but I hope they give like little bite-sized stuff, little morsels, little teasers to kind of just like satiate our never-ending appetite for more Nintendo. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
I was
by the
getting
way-
excited when you're talking about the Prime 4, like showing us little clips of. I was like sitting here getting butterflies in my stomach. I'm like, oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be a cool use for it. And again,
Yeah.
I hope, and I'm sure it's the same for all you guys, I really hope that they don't do just a Nintendo Today, like final stuff for Metroid with the release date. I hope they give it more love and attention. I certainly feel like the game needs it, especially it's like if there's more to this, we got to see that at some point. You know, there are some things that work really well with being a mystery. We talked about recently on the show. Tears of the Kingdom. You know, there's a lot of mystery around that game, but that's a game that could get away with it. That mystique. It has a big enough of an audience just so hungry for that they could get away with keeping so many elements close to their chest. I don't think that works for Prime 4. I don't think it works for Kirby. I don't think it works for Splatoon Raiders. So I'm excited. I mean, listen, we're not going to get all of our wishes this year, but I feel like we're going to get a lot. And I feel like this is just a really good and exciting time to be a Nintendo fan, ultimately.
I mean, I might get all my wishes.
Fair enough. And Alyssa, but is that
so far?
Is that an Expedition 33 shirt that you're wearing?
Is.
That is rad. Hell yeah.
She
It
may or may not be teasing her bingo card.
I can't read it, but that's awesome.
I can't read this.
Yeah, it says for those who after.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a great game.
Yeah, I played on PS5. I platinumed it. It's like the only game I really like wanted to platinum because I adore it.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
I'll play the fuck out of it if it comes to Switch 2.
I'm gonna stream it when it comes to Switch 2. I really think it will. I follow like so many interviews and like listen to all this stuff about it. The composer for the game is actually a really big Legend of Zelda fan, and Majora's Mask is his favorite game. And listening to the soundtrack, I can kind of like see it a little bit. But I'm like, when Koji Kondo, like, love him, and I'm not saying replace him, but like, bring this kid in, bring this guy in, you know, get him in on the game, on the next Zelda game. Like, but replace him. No, like when when it's his time to go, like you got to bring in a little protege, and I want him to be him. So I think he could do a really cool Zelda soundtrack personally.
But just on that topic really quick, my dream composer for a Zelda game, I'd love to, especially if they do something kind of weird and whimsical and dark, like Majora's Mask again, is Grant Kirkhope. I just can picture him doing like this weird almost like Danny Elfman type, just like dark, whimsical, fantastical. Yeah. But anyways, I pre-ordered the vinyl for Expedition 33 because I love the soundtrack so much.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I have the link saved. I might do the whole like big thing because I pre-ordered like that monolith statue. I'm like all in on this game, dude.
You're all
like,
in. Oh, yeah.
Like I love Zelda, but I'm like I joke about like that meme, like the guy like holding the girl's hand.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm like I made a meme of like me and like Expedition 33 with Zelda. I'm like I still love Zelda. It'll always be dear to my heart. But I'm just like I'm enraptured by this game.
Oh, yeah.
I like want to talk about it so much, but at the same time I don't because I'm like people just go play it. Like experience it for yourself.
Yeah, you should have been here when we had Jake Randall on talking.
Oh no, I'm like him, like dreaming about it and everything. I'm like obsessed.
He can't. Did he just had his YouTube channel and stuff hat today, and he's still talking to me about this game.
Oh snap!
While his channel's hat, he's like, "Hey, have you finished Expedition 33 yet?" I'm like, "No, I haven't."
I keep talking to somebody in my community too. I'm like, "How are you? How far are you? Where are you at now? Where are you at now?" I'm like, "Right, isn't it insane?"
Yeah, Jake Randall. There you go. How do you do, man? The Expedition 33 shirts. Hey, what's up with the chat, man?
That's sick. I love it.
up on a secondary account.
Yep.
All right. Hopefully YouTube helps them out in a moment. I just connected them behind the scenes. So, all right, let's go ahead then. Is that everyone who went?
Mhm.
I believe
That's everyone.